I mean, this says it's streaming. Why isn't it streaming? Hello? Hello? Hello, haha. Are you there? I mean, that says it's working. Hey, Stefan, I see you. Haha, hello, welcome. There's me just talking in weird accents and just doing my crazy nonsense, and you're actually already there. Sorry about that. It's not very clear if it's working or not, but right, I can now hear myself 12 times because I've got too many windows open. Although I need that open because I need to be able to see the chat. Because that helps, doesn't it, when you're talking to people that are live and in your living room? Goodness me. This is the joy of doing these things every quarter. I need to mute that, that's for sure. There you go, muted. Um, Pop out chat. There she is. That's the key. Yeah, I'm not going to read that. I have to stay there. Okay, so the next thing I want to do, remembering that you are live, BR, is find. Hey, like you can't comment to me on Telegram because I'm not on Telegram now. I'm on YouTube. And no, this is my bum fluff. I'm from the 90s. I'm not afraid to say it. Here's my bum fluff. I actually shaved it all off and then I let it grow back again. But anyway, I need a full rundown of Greatland Gold for a nostalgic look at the story. Give it to me as a script as I am live now. It's running. All right, so my producer is currently writing me a script because, well, I've not still stopped since 8 o'clock this morning, and I can't remember how to podcast because I just don't do it enough anymore, which is annoying because I actually enjoy doing this. This is fun. This is what I enjoy doing. Since I've sat down, I've developed a runny nose and a tickly cough. I think it's just hay fever, but so apologies because I don't have access to a quick mute button. I've got one over here, but I don't know how quickly that cuts me off. So if you hear me coughing, I do apologise. It's not very professional. So anyway, right, I've got a script. It's interesting to see what my speak flow. There it is. Oh, what do you mean I need to sign up? I haven't got time to. I'm live now, people. Why do I need to sign up? I'm already signed up. I pay you money every month. The cheek of it. Can you believe this? Here we go. Create new script. So we're loading you into the teleprompter. Whoa. That's a lot. The call that? Save, present. Oh, it's mirrored. Throw it up into that screen. F11. Bang. Right, that's there. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to GGPHelp TV. Mark the clock at 22:40. We are now live, streaming across the UK and the world. And I'm here for you to talk to you about what... I'm here to talk to you about our love and our passion, I guess. It's so wrong. You should not get emotionally tied to stocks. But 1,100 of us have been committed to this now for the last 4, 5 plus years. I mean, some people might have turned myself up in my ear. Some people might have been here since even earlier than the early days. Do you know what I mean? Like, there is a cohort to talk about Ernest Giles, and but as a community, like, we hit Telegram mid 2019. I think I joined with 35 people in the group, and it grew to like 1,200 at one point. We down and went back to about 1,100. We're 1,175 now. I think it's growing again. I purposely don't. It's probably me that's low. I'm not gonna lie, Ad. It's probably me with the low volume. What if I got up nice and close? Would that help? Let me know if that helps. Why am I low? Oh, no, that's right. It's because that's in there. Someone's been playing with my volume. I had to turn myself up. I won't lie. Hang on. There you go. That'll do. Yep. I'll leave that there. Hopefully that solved the problems. So as I was saying, thank you, Bellas and Ad, for that. Hopefully, in fact, let's get that right. Can you hear me? Do I have a level? Check, check. 1, 2. Someone's played with my knob. All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to GGPHelp TV. My name's Liam, and I'm here for the next, 45 minutes, hour, to take a look back at Greatland Gold, our love and our passion. And I was just saying with the low volume, and I'll just say it again now for you, that we shouldn't be emotionally tied to stocks. But us lot, 1,156 of us, we are emotionally tied to this stock. It's hard not to be, and even as someone who now has gone through the emotions so much, I'm fairly numb to them. To say I'm not emotionally tied to this stock would be a lie. We've been through so much together as a community. And it's easy to be nostalgic even before we look at Greatland. I'm privileged because I get to know so many of you, and as we all have. We've built bonds and friendships, and it's amazing to see that even outside the group that people are talking to each other. I'm aware of meetups that have happened, and that from that you've formed different offshoots, and that's just amazing. That's community, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, and I'm privileged because I get people sending me things about their lives. I get to hear about the fact that the grandchild's been born, or they've got a son on the way, or they're getting married. One guy sent me a message, said I was out with me and my wife went to New York, and while we were out here we decided to get married. I mean, that's just so cool. People want to share that, and at the same time, I imagine we've lost some people along the way, so that's sad because they never got to see this. But that's life, isn't it? So I raise my cup, and if you've got a beer, raise a beer to those that sadly haven't made it, but hopefully with the choices they made, their legacies now sending their families, going to make their families so much better off. So and that's all we can hope for, isn't it? I know there's a lot of you that aren't necessarily investing for you, but you're investing for your family, and that's really important. And so yeah, that's good. Unfortunately, our boy Stu, he's not able to make it tonight. He really wanted to be here, but something's come up at home, and he just said, "Look, I want to, but the right thing to do is not." So hopefully we can get Stu back for the Q2 results in the middle of next month. Although that bothers me because I'm going on holiday in a month's time, so I've got to try and hope that they don't blink in land while I'm away on holiday. Oh, here's some breaking news for the other people. So I get the AFR breaking news thing is Virgin flights have been diverted to India and Oman as the airline gets ready to finally return to the ASX today. That's not good if you're listing on the ASX today, is it, to have something like that happen? I presume that's going to be something to do with whatever's going on in the Middle East at the moment. I've only seen a few things on my watch. Not cool. Anyway, enough of my digressing. So the Virgin are listing as well. So my producer's done me some work. I've no idea what this says. So this is literally, we're finding out about this together. So, all right, folks, today we're taking a trip down memory lane, one lined with gold, ambition, and more than a few head fakes from the market. Yep, we're talking about Greatland Gold, ticker GGP on the London Stock Exchange. Exchange is a market. Why don't you punch your microphone? If you've been around junior mining stocks over the last 5 years, you'll know this name. And if you've held it, well, you've either made a mint or taking a bath. I think we're all still in the bath. Let's walk through this journey together, the wins, the warnings, and where we are now. Greatland Gold was founded in 2005, but for over a decade it was a quiet, relatively obscure gold explorer focused on Western Australia and Tasmania. Low volume, low profile, a micro-cap explorer with a market cap in single-digit millions. Their projects? Fire Tower, Warrantina, Ernest Giles, all promising, but nothing that screamed, break out! It was speculative and the kind of stock you'd take a flyer on and forget. Everything changed in 2018. That's when GGP made what would become one of the most exciting mineral discoveries in Australia. Now, I'm going to stop right there, right, because I thought this would happen. Because Stu would very much have me on this conversation. Not have me, but have me stop here and talk about Ernest Giles. Because back then, there was so much excitement around Ernest Giles and the drill results that came in, and that Newmont were taking a look and they were putting drills down as well. And I don't know this full story, so he would have told it 100 times better than I would. Even after 3 bottles of Vino and a park bench for 2 hours, his story would still be better than mine. So I'm not doing this justice. But Newmont eventually decided, after a drilling campaign, that their funds would be better spent in Chile, and that's where the money went. They decided the money to go was to go to Chile and not with Greatland, Ernest Giles. So what was looking promising sent it down, and people lost a lot of money. You know, people, that was hyped. It was expected it was going to do well, and it didn't. So that was unfortunate. But then 2018, a young man called Callum Baxter found this core library that gave him some real interest. From that, a JV with Newcrest Mining. I see what happened there. Havieron showed high-grade gold copper mineralization right next to Telfer Mine, one of Australia's largest gold mines. Drill results like 275 meters at 4.77 grams per ton gold and 0.61 copper. I mean, I can just hear Stuart now. Like, he would be so excited by that. 275 meters, and the average gold grade over that distance was 4.77 grams per ton. That's insane. You would read that and go, what? And that, by definition, is what they call a discovery hole. Other intercepts in showing bulk tonnage and high-grade sweet spots. This was no longer just another junior explorer. Greatland was sitting on something real. The share price rocketed from 0.5 to over 35p at its peak in late 2020. Oh, I'm so sorry, Chat GDP, but you GGPT, Jesus, um, that is not doing it justice. We lived every moment from 0.5p. We spiked up 4p and we were very excited, and then it went back to 2p. But oh, hang on, what's going on here? Oh wow. Okay, so what I've just discovered is my recording software that's streaming this. It's what I use to do all my recordings. They've now connected it to YouTube, which means the chat is actually inside of my recording software, which is really quite handy. That's really cool. Sorry about that. So, you know, and so came the yo-yoing of the share price. And in that time was the birth of our Telegram group. I think it was City Till I Die that launched it. He was the guy that had the original keys. And Stu took it over, and he asked me, I guess it was like October 2019, to take over the Telegram group. And there's part of me that wants to talk about our community, but at the same time, there is such a much bigger picture, isn't there, with everything that we went through with Greatland. But it's so easy to get, for me, so easy to get reflective over the growth and the change I've been through. I've been through a massive change over the last four years, and you've been part of that. You might have seen it, you might have recognised it. I don't know. I've never hid my mental health, and that's not why we're here. It's not the point. We're supposed to be talking about Greatland Gold, but it's all interconnected, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, being here every day for you gave me a reason. It just gave me a reason to grow something. And I didn't necessarily do it the right way. I remember getting into a confusing conversation with level 2 Andy over how he should be deleting his photographs of L2. I made a right balls up of that. I was thinking about that today, Andy. I'm pretty sure I saw your name in there somewhere. Yeah, I did. There you are. And you were just posting L2 pictures, and I'd been doing bottle service. Oh, that's the dog. Sorry, bud. Go sit. Just go sit. Go sit. He never does that. He just does what he's told. Weirdo. Yeah, I remember having this weird conversation with L2 Andy, who started posting pictures of L2, and I tried to say he should be deleting them or something. I don't know. I just remember pausing it up, and it all got very confusing. And so I was thinking about today when I was mentioning to Josh that please make sure you just, because the whole idea of it, just to waffle on a bit more, is that we just don't want the chat as you scroll through it, especially if you've been away. You find there's 80 messages. Oh, 8 messages. What's going on here? And 67 of them are just pictures of L2. So the idea is you delete your previous one so that we only have one live price picture at any one time. Easy to explain, but when I type it in text, it was useless. Anyway, so, this community, it's been through so much. We've been through so much together. And the handbags, the fun times, we've been through it all. We've been through it all. I mean, you were there, so I don't need to mansplain it to you, which is something my girls say to me all the time. Oh, you're mansplaining again. So there's me catching myself mansplaining. So anyway, enough about our chat. You've been there. You've lived it with me. So thank you. I'll cheers to each and every one of you as well. I'll just let this before it gets cold. Anyway, so we covered a bit of Ernest Charles. This was no longer another junior explorer. GGP was sitting on something real. The share price rocketed from 0.5p to over 35p at its peak in late 2020. And one of the points that sticks in my head was the GDXJ. And when Hydro sent Van Eck a letter, an email, and said, like, you've completely free float. And They then had to buy an obscene amount of shares, but they couldn't get all the shares. So the only way they could invest the amount of money they needed was to jack the share price up. So it was like 19p on the Monday, and by the Friday the UT went at 27p or something crazy like that, which was just insane. And it was a crazy weekend. We were just so jubilant. 27p, oh my god, that's amazing. And it opened and they took it up to like 28. They literally just about 28, and we were fever pitch, and then they just grabbed the rug and they gave it a yank, and they sent it to like 21 again, and we were all so bummed. I think it took like 3 months for it to recover then, as it went back and did what it did. But the psychology that involved there was crazy. So anyway, we peaked in late 2020. We all should have known it was coming. The feasibility study came out. I just want to see where this goes, because I just wanted to talk about that. The one day again. This is my story of, and we've all got our own stories of this. And anyway, you're here listening to me, so I might as well just say, the one day that I will never forget is the day we touched 28p and that rug got pulled again. Because I think the entire day I was with you. Oh, some weird electrical feedback in my ears. Okay. I was with you the whole day, and people were absolutely devastated. Like, just seeing their wealth just evaporate in front of them. And I probably didn't appreciate it myself at the time, because I wasn't really watching it from that point of view. I was just so concerned for those people that were, one guy had just become a millionaire. On paper, he was a millionaire, and it didn't last very long. And then, like that, it was gone. And it's still not got back there yet. I mean, I'm guessing that he's now got enough shares. That means it happens a lot quicker than where it did. But stories like that, just to share that with you. That was a tough day as an admin, trying to steer the ship and help everybody. Some people didn't need help, obviously. Don't need to. Some people just see things differently, and that fascinates me as a person. The psychology in the retail trader. I think if you understand the psychology of the retail trader, I was gonna say it gives you an edge, but that's just bollocks. I don't know. I just find the psychology of retail trading fascinating. Anyway, enough of me. Greatland became a retail darling. Twitter was ablaze. Discords, telegrams, and forums like LSE were full of small investors who believed GGP was the next big gold producer. They had a JV with a major miner, a defined resource, a pathway to production, and the hope of a multi-billion-pound valuation. Retail piled in. Many forgot the fundamentals, and it was still pre-production, and Newcrest held all the cards. Yeah, it seems to forget Scally, didn't it? But here's the thing. Developing a mine takes time and money, and the market, it hates waiting. In 2021 and beyond, delays, JV negotiations dragging, capex and inflation, confusion around the exact terms with Newcrest, and then Newcrest got acquired by Newmont. That jumped awful amounts there, didn't it? Because let's not forget the 5%. That 5%, and I mean, that was crazy, wasn't it? I guess you're just listening because there's not much chatting going on. We all thought it was going to go for a song. And then they decided not to take it. And then it came out that Greatland had actually offered them like 80 odd million for it. I mean, I've not even got into the conversation where Gervais had all stepped back and this young guy called Sean Day took the helm. I mean, that's where our fortune really changed, wasn't it? We'd got Javier on, but Sean says, and you have to believe him, Greatland had no way of converting to that. I mean, we took a loan off of Newmont, no, not Newmont, Newcrest, to allow that development to happen, to get it to where it is now. But beyond that, there was nothing. So we our path changed at that point, didn't it? Gervais left, and our path just changed. And someone took control. They took control because they had a vision. They then spent the next 3, 4, 5 years navigating that plan. And I don't imagine there are many people in this world that can have a plan that's that big, that complicated. Probably the right word. That big and that complicated. And then actually execute it. Now, I'm a planner. I'm an ideas man. I have ideas for projects all the time. I don't think I've ever completed a single one of them to the way I wanted it. And yet here we have someone who's come along with an idea. They sold the idea to a board that we were like, what on earth, this board? Not that it's a bad thing. Like, not that it was a bad thing to get the people he got. But at the time, you're like, we are a really small miner. What does this board... Why does this board want to... Do you know what I mean? Why would Mark Barnaby want to be Greatland Gold's 25% chairman? Like... And the hindsight part of that is just amazing, because the conversation that must have been had was, Mark, I've got this idea. I want to take Telfer and I want to turn Greatland Gold into the next... Do you know what I mean? Like, that's if effectively what happened. I've got this idea, Mark. I want to buy Telfer, and I'm going to fill it with Telfer ore and Javier ore, and I'm going to make it the next Northern Star. And then they did. And it can't have been easy. And there must have been moments where they were headbutting the wall. Not headbutting the wall, but you know what I mean? Like, just... I can't put words in their mouth because I don't know the full story. And I'm trying to extract it from them. I really am. And I want to. But there must have been moments where... Let's just say they're banging their fists on the table. You know? And... complications and twists and turns and shareholders giving them shit for not working quick enough, or you know, and then Newcrest decide to buy... No, go back. Newmont decide to buy Newcrest. And I do wonder, was that... I mean, this is absolute conjecture, but was that part of the plan? Was there someone out there that saw that part of the jigsaw puzzle happening? That's just food for thought. That's just... Did someone see Newcrest as vulnerable? Because they kind of were. I don't know. I just want to let that sit for a moment, because I mean, that's the perfect answer, isn't it? Because I don't know. I mean, maybe we'd have bought Telfer off Newcrest anyway. Maybe that's why Sean... We know Sean went out to dinner with Sandeep, drilling the bejesus bizwas. We know that happened. He said it himself. I went out for dinner with him. Did he tell him then, I'm going to buy Telfer off you? Made him an offer? Or at least to talk about it. So, they're the things I really want to get into with with somebody, just to find out what really happened, just to get that story. I mean, you never know, maybe Sean will write a story about it one day, or write it down in a book, and we can all buy it and get him to sign it. Excuse me. In 2021 and beyond, delays, JV negotiations, dragging, capex and inflation, confusion around exact terms of Newcrest, and then Newcrest got acquired by Newmont, adding another layer of uncertainty. Meanwhile, Greatland had to raise money, which meant dilution. The share price drifted from 35p to 20p, and then 10p, and then more recently back under 7p. Why don't you rub it in? And so what's the current status as of mid-2025? I mean, that's the crazy part, isn't it? Is it's wrapped it up into like 12 sentences, but we've lived every day, every moment, in some cases every darn tick of the ticker as the share prices moved around, and we waited for stories, not stories, as we waited for news, and we've researched and we've dug and we've dug and we've. I genuinely believe this is one of the most researched shares on AIM, and that I don't know a better group of people to do this research. Do you know what I mean? Like, there are people out there that don't just Google search something. They dig and they dig and they dig and they uncover some amazing things that you wouldn't even thought were even out there. But you got, I'm going to forget people. I'm going to miss people because I don't necessarily swing the same circles as you do. But I mean, you got Paddy, you got Bamps, you got Hydro, Nitram. I was on that list for a long time, not so much anymore. JC, Dipsard, Timber Trader. You've got your man Stuart on Twitter that just is finding these amazing photographs everywhere. And I mean, I could go on and just name like 100 different usernames of people that contribute to the community, and you know who you are. Stu, how can I forget our Stu? Rational Assessor. Did I say Dipsard? Dipsard. Huge contributor across many platforms. There's just so many to name. You know who they are. Maybe thank them. Magic. Do you know what? I missed a golden opportunity to interview him. I just couldn't get our diaries to match. But he's in Australia now, out in the outback, drilling for precious metals. He got his dream job, and I could have interviewed him in Australia, but I just couldn't make it work. I ran out of time. Too many projects on the go, and that's sad because that would have been a hella interview. But I would love to. I'd love to get him back. Please chat. I can see you both there. Twitter and not Twitter. Sorry, Telegram. That place I call home, and YouTube. If I've missed anybody that has an impact on your life, please say who, because they deserve the nod. I don't even remember if I said Bamps or not. God, could you imagine it? How can I forget Bamps? He needs to come back on our podcast, by the way. He was last on in 2021. I can't believe that either. He was saying that the other day. He sent me a message. So, yeah. If you've been part of this community, thank you. I mean, your contribution, whether reading, questioning, or spending the hours digging around, and anyone that spent time on the Department of Mines Petroleum website will know just how hard it can be. And that web app called, it begins with T. It's gone. It's the Tenement Register. And if you get on there, it takes forever to load. And it is a ball ache, but oh my god, it is a treasure trove of information if you can get it working. Anyone remember what it's called? Goldworm. I'll give you. I've never actually met Goldworm or had anything to do with Goldworm, but I'm aware of Goldworm. In fact, maybe what we should do for shits and giggles is go and have a look at it so I can show it to you. Let me fire up Edge, because Edge it works faster on Edge. Excuse me. Tengraph. The Tengraph register. Let me just load it up and I'll share my screen. Because it's going to ask me for my password in a minute and I ain't going to know what it is. But I'll move that over there so I can see you all. You know, so we... Oh, it's remembered my username. That's good. Go me. Alright, so let's share screen. Chrome tab. Window. Okay. Hopefully you can now see Western Australia. Let me just pull up a chat so I can see. Anyone confirm you can see the Tengraph, please? Can you see Tengraph? I'm just gonna get nostalgic for a minute. Is anybody actually there? Maybe no one's watching. You've gone to bed. Ah, this is shit. I'm out. Wouldn't that be funny if I'm talking to myself? Telegram, are you there? YouTube, are you there? Al's there. Nice one, Al. Thank you. You can see Tengraph. And this this app is a pain in the ass. But so what we would do is you've got to look for you got to know what your tenement numbers are. That's the first thing, right? You got to know what you're looking for. So M45/1287. That should be our queen. No, oh, I know why. It's because I put that. Try again. And this is the thing. Put the space in. Search. See what comes up. Sorry, the screen's hidden behind the camera. There you go. So this is Department of Mines. This is their website. So this is where you get as much information as you need. Let's cover that up. So it basically tells you what you need to know. So it tells you here it's related to 454701, which is Scallywag. So because originally speaking, the 12 blocks that have the air on encompassed 4701, which was all this. And this is all changed now because they've given some of it back, because if you're not using it, you have to. So current holders. Any surveys? So you'd be able to look for this, and you should be able to find these things. I mean, I've not looked at this for a very, very long time, so you know, we're just doing some reminiscing here for a moment. I'm hoping that the mineral exploration report will load up. Oh, I see. Look, it's coming on over there. No found. Tenement summary report. Do we get one of those, please? The screen is hidden behind the camera, so I apologise for that. It's the joys of the current setup. Click this link to open report. No idea what I've opened. So this is from 2020. Oh, look at that. So, it's just a report of the tenement. How fun is that? It's not really much fun at all, is it? Tenement history. Is it going to give us anything juicy? It's just little stuff from 2020, isn't it? But when you look at this, and I'm just going to come back to looking at it all now, you can go and take this data, and then you can go and look at Warden's Court, and you can go and see what court cases are going on, and you can find yourself going down rabbit holes with this information. So we know that this is Scallywag. We know that this 45636 relates to a road, and that's our road that's going to be linking you up to Telfer. Now look at these tenements for Telfer. That's crazy. All these ones in blue, they are, I believe, contested. So if I close that, and you should be able to right click on it and find data on the map. And so this was an Antipa one. I was hoping to find you something juicy then and show you that like 7 people had applied for it, but I haven't played with this in such a long time. Oh, look, broke it now. Why are you not? Find data on the map. It should show you who's applied for it. That's what I was looking for, just to show you. Maybe I should open the tenement register. Maybe that would help. That's going to take us somewhere else now. Ah, here we go. This is a bit more familiar. So once you've got your number, once you know what your mining number is, you can come to the register and have a look at the information. So effectively, you can just navigate it. It really is fascinating to look at all this stuff, and click through all the different things. Some of them blank, some of them don't say very much. Some of them tell you that things like this: the objection is closed on the 16th of June. For this, so Antipa have obviously won this piece of land. Not they own it, but they own the rights to it. That's effectively what this is saying. You can see how much they've paid. So they've paid $1,600. There's no expenditure on it yet. It's not been returned, and the Warden's Court says nothing. So a whole fat lot of rubbish just for you. That was a bit of a waste, wasn't it? So why don't we... oh, I don't know where I'm going now. Why don't we look at something a little bit more relevant? This is our Queen Scallywag. Forgive me for keeping saying Queen. My kids make me say it. They didn't make me say it, but it's one of those things like words that kids say, and now everything's a chuffing queen. So this is Scallywag, and obviously you can see here we've had it since 2017. We've got it currently until 27, and we're committed to spend $78,000 on that piece of land. At least we were expected to. So effectively, all this information here is in regards to Scallywag, and it's still not showing me very much at all. So the East Pilbara Shire effectively means Area 45. That's what the East Pilbara Shire is. That's how we know it's East 45. And then the tenement block. So here are some conditions of owning the land. You've got to do X, Y, and Z. And this is all back from 2017. Here is your history of it, really. So Pacific Trends. I saw that somewhere. There it is. So 2016, it then got picked up by Callum. And then did Newcrest have a there was something that happened. Oh, it's because it got cut up and then it became M45 1287. There you go. So that was the split from that was effectively the split where they took Javier on and gave it its own 12 blocks, which is why we knew it as the 12 blocks of Javier on. I knew it as 12 blocks that has a Javier on. And so its whole history is here, including the surrendering of some blocks, which was a shame, really. But if you're not going to use it, you're going to lose it. Anyway, look, I think I've wasted enough time here. If you want to spend some time surfing around and looking at different things, you want to go to dmp.wa.gov.au and look for Tengraph. Yeah. So I will leave that. Let's go back to me. Sorry about that. Here I am. Hello. Andrew asks, has Scally been written off as dust? My opinion, conjecture, hearsay, bollocks, is that no. They know what's there. They just didn't want to play their hand too early, because if they made enough noise about what cards they've got, they were never going to be able to do what they've done. That's my personal opinion. They're going to drill now, as we've seen with Ernest Giles. It's like some 25 drills going down. The 25 pads have been prepared, potentially for the 25 drilling campaign. That is a lot of drilling. That is a statement of intent. It wouldn't surprise me to see the local drilling team to Telfer, and we know they're there. We know they're active because Sean talked about them in Q1. They're currently doing some things around the closer Telfer area, but I think they're going to broaden out, and I think they're going to go back to Scally, and they're going to prove Scally once and for all is or isn't holding gold. Because obviously it's dust until it isn't. That's the line that I've always taken and that we've always taken on Telegram. It's dust until it's proven otherwise. But there are too many magnetic anomalies that get BAMPs excited for it just to be nothing. And so I think they've got an idea where they want to look. I just don't think they had the money and didn't want to raise awareness to what they think they have. But now they've got Telfer as their own, they can look at Scallywag, and perhaps it's going to contain enough that for a single company that owns the gold mill already, it's got some things in it. In Black Hills as well. I mean, Black Hills returns some promising numbers. The whole area did. Nothing like a discovery hole like Javieron was. But it's certainly there. It's certainly all in that northwest trend. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you Javieron to Winu, draw a line, there's your trend. It's just a question of finding it. So, I've just read the next line on my teleprompter. So what's current status as of mid 2025? And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why you should not rely on the internet for you to write a script. Just bear with me here while I say this tosh. Javieron is still progressing towards development. True. GGP retains a 30% interest, with Newmont holding the rest. False. Oh, it's done me. Chat GPT has done me. Oh my days. What does Greatland Gold's story teach us? Exploration wins can create life-changing upside, but development is slow, expensive and political. Retail hype is a double-edged sword. It can bring with liquidity and euphoria, but also unrealistic expectations. That's true. That script was shit. So where are we at now? Let's just take this back. So September 2024, we got the news. We are going to buy Telfa. And I mean, at that point, for me, it felt like it didn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter anymore that what the share price does, because once we've gone through the process of owning the mine, we hold our own destiny in our hands. There's no more worry, even though I had an episode. Hold my hands up to that. There's no more worry really from a company point of view about our future. The risk is gone. Do you know what I mean? That the risks that exist are just the risks, and they're the risks for everybody. That's a fair statement. You know, nobody is risk free, and nobody is what's the word I'm looking for? Nobody is devoid. That's not the right word. Like, anyone could be bought out, basically. Do you know what I mean? Like, it only takes Elon Musk or Warren Buffett. One of those could probably buy Amazon or Tesla. Do you know what I mean? Like, they could buy nobody's immune from being bought out. That's probably the bottom line and what I'm trying to say. So I think that now we've got there, we got to that point where we owned Telfa. Anybody that's just owning these shares and just saying I'm never selling, it doesn't matter anymore, because you're now looking at a pathway to dividends, and surely that has to be your goal. If you're never selling your shares, at some point you will, or your family will want to release that capital, perhaps. I don't know. Like, it doesn't matter, does it? You know, if you're forever holding, then this is going to come good. There has to be a point where you accept that the more gold you drill out of the ground, the less gold there is for the company upside, and I kind of guess that leans into the Lassonde curve, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Like, there comes a point where that happens, but you're now looking at a company that's got a 25 drill program in a place that's never been drilled, really, apart from the stuff in 2018 with Ernest Giles. But it's still to be proven. It's still to be proven ground, but it's an Archean greenstone belt, and we know that Archean greenstone belts in Australia are a printing press, really, when it comes to money. So the So yeah, I that changed for me. My outlook for the company, that changed for me. Now I appreciate I did have an issue. Came at a difficult time. Not with the share, but for me. I don't know. I don't think it's linked. Like, let's get personal for a second. Sorry if this doesn't wash, but so I've been on mental health medication since 2017. Part of last year, I decided that I didn't need them anymore because I was in control. So I elected to stop taking my meds, and my doctor put me on a very, very, very slow program to wean me off them, and we weaned me off them. And then in January, I came off my meds. I stopped taking mental health meds at the instruction of my doctor. And what I didn't anticipate happening was the next 6 months of my life being turned completely upside down. Um, I've never that suffering a panic attack when you're not panicked is, it boggles my mind how it happens. You could be doing something completely benign, and all of a sudden you find yourself having a panic attack. I'm like, what the hell is this coming from? And in 2017, I was having panic attacks because I was so, I was in a weird place. And now not. But effectively, what's been happening is all my neurons have been reconnecting themselves, and it's been creating all sorts of weird and wonderful emotions and states. And yeah, I'm a different guy today to the one that sat down and read you that video. That's a hard one. Excuse me. Like, I can't explain that. And whilst it was all me, and I fully accept the words that I said and my actions that I took, we don't need to go over that again. But something else was in play there, for sure. Perhaps we'll talk about it offline if anyone wants to. But mountain, molehill, probably the right thing there. Anyway, move on. So, where are we at now? These last few months have been about us moving to the ASX. And that's some excitement. You talk to Sean Day about the ASX, he gets excited because he knows that in London, and this is fact because it's on the company presentation, we are not valued as we should be compared to our peers. If you look at companies that are of the same size on the ASX, they are valued at a much higher rate because Australia respects and loves its gold miners. So it is a common sense move to take our little company to the ASX. And there is a part of me that sees this as a very cleverly, I think I've said it out loud before, it's a reverse takeover. A very, very, very clever reverse takeover. But one that benefits us as well. Because all you've got to do now is just sit and wait. And I think we're going to see some interesting moves with our share price. I can't help but think that somebody is going to want a piece of the pie for a discount. Not placing discount. They're going to want to discount it with the market. I think that's going to be very hard because of demand is now, the liquidity's gone out of the market. The shares just don't exist anymore. So they're going to rely on us. And that's going to be the sad part. Is the higher this share price goes, the more people are going to be offloading their shares. Because at some point, your price, if you have a price, hang on, let me just address that. Ow, no, not to be bought out, to take a piece of the pie. They're going to want, do you know what I mean? Like, if you're an institution and we're all paying, I'm just going to keep it simple, 15p, they're going to come along and say, no, I'm going to pay 13p for my 250 million shares. That kind of thing. Like, that's what happens every day, every share. I think some of these institutions are going to want to get in and they're going to want to discount. But at the same time, and I think this is the part that fascinates most of us, is you've got an entire country of PI like us that want this piece of pie and they're going to pay the going rate. So I think the market makers are going to have themselves a headache because their mate Bob from Pensions Are Us is going to want a cheap wedge of shares when Bruce, Sheila, and I don't know, Mick Dundee, ain't gonna care. They're just gonna want pieces of pie. So it's 3065. Salute you. I mean, it's hearsay, conjecture, and bollocks. And at the end of the day, it really, really, really doesn't matter. The price at the end of tomorrow doesn't matter because it's the weekly, your monthly, and quarterlies that really do matter. But no, it's part of it. I just think someone's going to want to try and get discounted shares. I'm going to stop saying the word discounted shares because I'm not. I'm trying to FUD this. Goodness me, no. I think it'd be easier to talk to somebody about it rather than having a one-way conversation with a camera. Because there's going to be yin and yang. There's going to be two opposing forces. I want cheap. I don't care. I just want. And that's going to pull. And the market makers are going to have to work hard. Oh, poor market makers. But no, the sad part is, I've waffled, sorry, is that we're all going to have our profit points touched at some point over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And that means that some people might sell all their shares and that they'll be leaving the community and moving on happy. Because at the end of the day, that's the point, right? Is you're not here, you've not signed up to this to be part of a community. You signed up to this to make your life better. And that's what's special about this share. I've given up with communities, any other community. I am not part of any other community for any other share. Because they just didn't have what we have. I know there's a few groups out there that have a community feeling to them, and fair play to them, not for me. But what we have is special, and that should be. My cup of tea's gone cold now. That should be saluted. I've just seen Andrew's message. I'll come to that in a minute because I'm still paying that blinking thing price. Still burns me. So we're here. We're on the eve of the ASX, and what we got now? 20 minutes, 4 hours and 20 minutes. We list, and we're not going to be live by then. I've got to go to bed. And our future is in the hands of the Australians now. We've done as much as we can do. We've bought as many shares as we can buy. And now we're going to wait and see what they do. And I don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow or the next day or next week. But it's going to sure as hell be fun to find out with you all. Because I'm looking forward to that part. The risk is off now. We just have to watch the story unfold and see what twists and turns and plot twists come our way. You know, we should have a bingo card of things that are going to happen with Greatland. When you say Greatland Gold, that's going to be a hard habit to break. So, I'm looking forward to that. Now, coming back to your weather, barbecue, and an easier life. There was this idiot. Okay. We won't name him for now. No point in naming names. He took some money off his credit card and bought Greatland Gold shares with it. He bought a bounce. And he profited. It wasn't much money, but he bought himself a nice laptop with the proceeds. Fair play. Doff my cap. You know. Good for you, good sir. Well, because this young whippersnapper was cocky, he did it again at 28p. No, he didn't. He did it at 18p. And with the money he had, he realised that when it hit 28p, he could buy himself Weber's most expensive barbecue. There was a problem with that. We kept going down. And we've not got back there yet, to the point that we still can't buy that bloody barbecue. Let that be a lesson to your kids. Don't use your freaking credit card to buy shares, because it will bite you on the ass. So yeah, there you go. That's why 28p is so important for the barbecue, because that's the point in which it becomes affordable, and I can pay the credit card off and get the barbecue. I don't even suppose that's even in like that particular barbecue is even made anymore. I was looking at a Traeger actually, wood pellets. That fascinates me. Slow cooking with wood pellets. I could be on board with that. So anyway, look, I've not done this company or its story justice this evening, and I've had a blast. I've learned so much about myself. I've become so aware of myself, and I look back on how I perhaps managed the group and how I've changed managing the group over the years. Because I'm not going to hide the fact I'm a job's worth. I'm that guy that will complain that you've done something you really don't care about, but it matters to me. And in some ways, it's helped our group because we've whittled out all the bullshit. At least the nonsensical people that were coming through, and do you know what I mean? Like, having an autocratic leader has its merits. Not that I appreciate autocratic leaders across. I think there's different needs for different things, isn't there? Like sometimes, thinking sport, autocratic coaches like Alex Ferguson, um, it can work in the right environment. And I get I was too stringent with the rules. I'm not afraid to say that. I like to think I'm a little bit more lax now than what I used to be. Eh, that's probably a conversation to have with somebody rather than trying to muse it to yourself with, I don't know, the 3 people that are currently watching. I don't know. I actually don't know how many people are watching. Andrew's watching because he's just messaged. Oh, Jay, thank you, sir. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really shamelessly plugged my own show then. I have got a new podcast. Perhaps you should DM me if you're interested. I'll send you a link to my story. Has anyone got any questions? Anyone got anything? Any statements they want to say? Like, turn it over to you. At the end of the day, this isn't just about me. I've been here, but without a community to help, encourage, be there for, discuss, argue, laugh with, cry with, use handbags with, quit on, rage quit, come back. Like, you've seen it all. You've seen, and that's the crazy part for me, because it's not just me that's done that over the last 4 or 5 years. It's you. You've all gone through your own happiness, your own sadness, your own experiences, and that's what makes us unique. Keen on EG. Oh, EG's a gold mine. And that's purely based on Callum Baxter and the reason why he held it for so long. He believes there is gold there. And so I hope for Callum's sake that there is a whole new mine there waiting and begging to be built. Because that would just be the cherry on top, wouldn't it? Because when you look at how much land we have the rights to in the Ernest Giles area, if that has any kind of gold that warrants a mill, we're laughing because we own the lot. And so all the negotiations that have happened with the local indigenous people, that's all done, that's all in place. So if they turn out a mine, they haven't got to go back and get the permissions, it's done. So it's going to need an airstrip, goes without saying. So there's going to be a lot of capital if there is gold down there. So, you know, I'm excited for Ernest Giles, just for Callum's sake. He believes there's gold there, so let's prove it. It's dust until otherwise. That has to be the line that we take. That has to be, if you ask my opinion, it's dust until it's proven otherwise. But we know it's there because Newmont came sniffing, and they wouldn't have gone sniffing if there was nothing. So watch this space, Ernest Giles. I reckon September, October, November will be not necessarily revealing all of its secrets, but it will be giving us a nod to if it has any secrets. Yes, that's my final answer on Ernest Giles. Not every step is a full one, but keep stepping. Always. Always. And as long as you're stepping, you're learning. And as long as you're learning, you're doing alright. Now, how will the ASX listing work for us after close? Will the price on AIM move to what? Yeah, in theory, it should be kind of fluid in that sense, as far as I understand it, having looked at Artemis, because they do this, they do similar. So, in theory, if it closes, I'm just gonna keep round numbers. If it closes 350 at the moment, isn't it? If it closes at 350 on the ASX, it should open somewhere around about 350 on AIM. If that doesn't happen, it's going to get mighty interesting mighty quick, because you're going to have two different centres pricing the share at very different prices, and I don't think that works. I think there has to be continuity through the system. It has to. So it might be variations because of exchanges and what can happen in a few hours between a one market closing and one market opening, but there or thereabouts it should, if it's right, open and close similarly. I noticed there is an ASX ticker called GGP whose last a bit trade 2001. Matt, I don't know the answer to that one. There was a Greatland in Australia. I think they were a window company, if I remember rightly. Could be very wrong on that. I think Google is the answer to that one. Andrew says, so would EG? Yeah, I think EG is so far out there. Like, let's look. Let's go look. Let's fire up Google Earth and take a peek. Now, I've not updated my Google Earth for a very, very, very long time, so you'll have to bear with me. But let's share screen, window, Google Earth, share. So we're just loading that up. I can't see what you can see. I don't think it worked. Alright, Google Earth is now whizzed in. Why has that not worked? Haha, here you go. So this is there she is. There's our queen. Sorry. So let's have here on. Alright, and this is. Do you know what? It's been such a long time since I've looked at any of this. I think Teacher's actually gone now. I don't think we own. I think that's a line across there. This is the area they're kind of keen on. There's stuff up here, Parlay and stuff that they've revisited a few times. I quite like Artichusis myself. But anyway, so when we zoom out, and we zoom out, and we zoom out, you'll find that Ernest Giles is only 500 clicks as the crow flies. It's only 360 miles away. So the issue you've got is there is nothing around. There's nothing there. It like I think Lake Wells is your nearest place, but by the looks of it, nobody actually lives there. Someone's been there, haven't they? Look, it looks like drill pads. So this is all of our land. This is what we own. This is what they're interested in at the moment, this entire area here. So as you can tell, there is plenty of gold. There's 1 meter at 2.54 grams per ton up here. So there is definitely gold. They just need to find the source and prove that it is more than just little bits. Laverton is your nearest town, although Cosmo Newbury has a few houses at least. That's pretty cool, isn't it? It's got a payphone. How exciting! But it's a million miles from nowhere, literally. So I think that's going to need an airstrip, and I think if this is as big as, well, I mean, it all comes down to cost, doesn't it? Just trying to be realistic, like, because it's not going to be 500 miles to drive gold, drive your ore. It's going to be probably like 1,000 kilometers by the time you've hoiked it back out west to Perth. Because I can't imagine there's many roads that link all this together. So you're going to have to... I don't know. I've not looked... I've not looked too deeply into it. But you'd have to go to Kalgoorlie. I think you're going to have to pull it. I don't know how well the words work, but effectively, I would expect if you've got enough gold at Ernest Giles, you're going to be building a mill, and you're going to be building everything you need. And I'm okay with that. I'm on board with that. Let that happen. You could probably get it to Kalgoorlie once you've got a road network established. You can kind of see there's a bit of a road that runs through Laverton. Laverton is your big town. That's got more than 3 houses, look. It's got a supermarket. Racecourse? Is that what that is? Looks like a racecourse. So yeah. Oh, it's got an airstrip as well. Ah. But look, that is 5 years in the future, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? That's what comes next after Harry Aaron comes line is something like Ernest Giles. Perhaps it's a completely different project. Perhaps it's Winu, or perhaps it's Minyari, or perhaps it's something out on the East Coast that's already established. Then we've got Nifty. Isn't that a copper mine not too far away from us? That's somewhere up at Nilgani, I think. Oh, excuse me. So yeah. Anyway, I've lost the chat. So I don't know where you are. I'll save you from the waffly on that. Boosh. They could buy a big red off of Parker Schnabel. Laughing emoji. I actually don't know that joke, so yeah. And Andrew, that's the key, right? And that's what you got to find now. Is that Greatland can afford to spend time looking over all the old data, collecting new data, and choosing little pockets in that land mass that we now own that have got enough gold to feed the mill for 6 months. Because that's all you need to do when you're now finding the next. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're just going to go 6 months at a time, well, let's let's take all the gold out of here for the next 6 months, because we know that we've got another one over 400 meters to the west that's got another pocket of gold that will feed it for 6 months after that. And because you're a small company, you don't have massive all-in sustained costs. The gold price is very favorable right now, as we all know, and so it just makes life much easier. If gold was to like do a 180 and go back to let's just say $2,000, all of a sudden you then have to start being a little bit more cost considerate. But the world seems to be going off on a complete tangent at the moment, so I can only see gold really benefiting from the tangent that it is doing. It is from Gold Rush. Oh, I see. So Greatland could have bought Big Red off of Parker Schnabel with Gold Rush. That's quite funny. So, anyway, look, I've been going for an hour and 20 minutes. Hopefully, everything that I've said kind of makes sense. It's relatable. Thank you. Hopefully, I've done the Greatland story a little bit of justice. You mean you've never watched Aussie Gold Hunters? Parker is one of the characters on the show. It's a rite of passage for a gold shareholder, surely. I've watched it. I'm not. I don't watch much TV. That's the problem. Spend too much of my life on the internet. I've actually gone back and started watching Better Call Saul. I actually made it to season 6 of that, and then it was like 3 years ago, but stopped short, like with 6 episodes to go. So I tried to pick it up, and every time I tried to pick it up, I couldn't understand or remember what the story was. So I actually went back and started at season 1, episode 1. So yeah, there you go. I'm watching a box set at the moment. That doesn't happen very often. But anyway, look, I hope I've done this company or even 1% justice. And I look forward to spending the next 5 years, basically, what we've already gone through, finding out about this next chapter of our story, because the future is so bright for this company. If we can keep our head down, if the company can just stay on this path that it's on, the future is very bright, and someone down here? I can hear something. It must be the dog. Nothing like weird noises in your microphone to freak you out at midnight. Yeah, stay on the path, and we will be rewarded of that, I am sure. Because if Sean was adamant on getting us this far, he's going to want to see it through. And when he says, I want to make the next Northern Star, I believe him. I don't think it'll be the same as Northern Star. I think it'll be a different thing. They had lots of starter mines, or they had lots of mines that were already in progress, didn't they? And I don't think it would hurt for us to acquire a few more of those. But we've got an Ernest Giles, we've got a Scallywag, we've got a Javier on. We're already different. And that's what makes this exciting. So, look, I'm just going to leave it there. All right. Thank you for being here this evening. Thank you if you've decided to watch this the next day, 4 days later. Thank you for being part of my life. Thank you for letting me be part of yours. And yeah, I will catch you on the other side of us being Australian owned, Australian listed, Australian shared gold miners. Ladies, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me this evening. My name's Liam, and you've been watching GGPHelp TV live, and I will see you on the next show, which hopefully will be in about a month's time when the Q2 results are released, and Stu and I can go old school, waiting for the results to drop on the ASX, and we can share them with you live, assuming Australia gets them first, because it's much easier when Australia get them, because Stu and I can be here as opposed to 7 o'clock in the morning when we're trying to get ready for work. So long. I've got to try and turn this off now. My name's Liam, and you've been watching GGPHelp TV. Good night.